Every Orisha has two sides, the side that blesses you and the side that warns you, not evil, just consequences. When people ignore wisdom, disrespect nature, act with pride, or move without discipline, the Orishas don't stay quiet. Shango's thunder becomes a warning. Oshun's sweetness disappears. Eshu brings confusion. Ogun's iron turns dangerous. Yemoja's calm waters suddenly rise. This video breaks down the dark side of 11 Orishas, how balance becomes consequences and why it still matters today. Welcome to GriotbyKD, where the stories of our ancestors come alive. If this story sparks your imagination, press the subscribe button, like this video, and join me on the journey. I also want to hear from you. Drop a comment and tell me where you're watching from so this video can reach even more people. Let's explore our history together, one story at a time. Now, let's get back to the story. Orunmila, the keeper of destiny, watches every choice and every path that might unfold. His wisdom flows through Ifa, the opal chains, softly clattering secrets of what may come. Yet foresight carries a shadow. Ignored guidance becomes unavoidable lessons. On a fog-laden hillside village, the scent of wet clay mingled with smoke from cooking fires. Villagers went about their routines, pounding yams, carrying water, weaving mats. Some, ambitious and impatient, consulted Orunmila signs only when convenient, twisting guidance to suit their desires. The rustle of the icons and the quiet intonations of priests went unheeded. Small disruptions appeared first, a mislaid tool, a goat trampling crops, whispers among friends. But as hurried decisions continued, consequences multiplied. Fields wilted under strange weather, arguments flared into feuds, and the river, usually calm, crested unexpectedly. The village learned too late. Destiny cannot be bent. It must be respected and understood. Orunmila's dark side is subtle, yet uncompromising. Ignored wisdom transforms into lessons that demand attention. Knowledge is power only when met with humility, reflection, and action. Ask yourself, when signs appear, do you pause to understand them, or let destiny teach through hardship? Orunmila reminds us that foresight is a gift only for those willing to see clearly and act wisely. Shango is the Orisha of thunder, lightning, and power. His strength can protect and inspire, but it also warns us. Pride or carelessness can bring trouble. In a hillside village, the smell of roasted yams mixed with dust and smoke. Children played in the river while traders sold fruits, palm oil, and mats in the Oja. Some villagers ignored Shango's signs. The beat of the bata drums, smoke from offerings, and the chants in the wind. They thought they could outsmart the storm. One hot afternoon, the sky darkened suddenly. Lightning struck a tree near the market. Thunder shook the ground, and strong winds tore at the palm fronds, scattering goods. The river rose dangerously. Children screamed, traders ran, and the villagers realized too late. Shango's power is real and must be respected. Shango's dark side is not anger for no reason. It is the lesson that power, when ignored or misused, can cause real harm. Pride blinds us, arrogance destroys, and strength unchecked spreads trouble like a storm. Ask yourself, when you have power, skill, or influence, do you use it wisely or risk it causing damage? Shango teaches that true strength comes with care, respect, and responsibility. Oya is the Orisha of wind, storms, and change. She brings transformation, but if you resist her, chaos can follow. In a small riverside village, mud brick houses lined the paths, palm trees swayed, and the Oja was busy with traders and fishermen. People went about their daily work, but some refused to change. They ignored offerings for Oya and laughed at the winds, thinking life would always stay calm. Then, one evening, without warning, the river rose. Strong winds tore through the village, and a whirlwind overturned stalls, scattered food, and capsized fishing boats. Children clung to their mothers, traders ran to save their goods, and everyone realized Oya's storm was a warning. Change cannot be ignored. Oya's dark side is not cruelty, it is the lesson that resisting change brings trouble. Life moves, seasons shift, and growth can be hard, but ignoring it makes it worse. Ask yourself, when life calls for change, do you move with it or fight it? Oya shows that the winds of change may be strong, but they guide us to balance, growth, and survival. Oshun, the goddess of rivers, love, and wealth, blesses those who honor her. But even sweetness has a shadow. Envy, greed, and selfishness can turn gifts into trouble. In a sunlit riverside village, children played along the banks while women washed clothes and traders displayed honey, brass ornaments, and golden fruits in the busy Oja. Two sisters competed for attention, flaunting beauty, possessions, and influence. They whispered, hoarded, and ignored small offerings for Oshun. Their rivalry spread gossip and poisoned friendships, disrupting the once harmonious market. Slowly, the river pulled back, honey fermented too fast, and brass dulled. Life's sweetness turned bitter. Oshun's shadow is clear. Blessings misused or marred by envy can undo joy, even without punishment. Ask yourself, do you nurture generosity, gratitude, and harmony? Or let rivalry and desire spoil the gifts you receive? Oshun teaches that true abundance flows to those who care for hearts as much as treasures. Ogun, master of iron, craft, and war, gives humans tools to build, protect, and create. But even skill has a shadow. Ambition unchecked or carelessness can cause chaos. In a village near iron-rich hills, the blacksmith's forge blazed with sparks, molten metal shining in the sun. The air smelled of smoke, hot iron, and fresh-cut wood, while hammering echoed across the hills. A young blacksmith, eager to impress, tried a new plow design for faster harvests. Ignoring Ogun's rituals and guidance, he rushed, cut corners, and skipped offerings. At first, villagers admired the shiny plow, but it soon broke in the field, injuring workers and ruining crops. Arguments flared, tools were misused, and the village felt the cost of imbalance. Ogun's shadow is clear. Skill without patience, respect, and care can harm more than it helps. Strength and talent must walk with discipline. Ask yourself, do you balance ambition with responsibility or risk letting skill turn gifts into disaster? Ogun teaches that mastery is not just in making things, but in using power wisely. Obaluaye, guardian of disease and healing, walks the line between life and death. His power is subtle in the body and in the rhythms of the land. His shadow appears when neglect or carelessness tips the balance. Illness is a teacher, not just punishment. In a riverside village, smoke from cooking fires mixed with the earthy scent of wet mud. Children played barefoot and insects hummed in the air. Some villagers, focused on their own gain, ignored Obaluaye's offerings, skipped rituals, and dismissed advice on hygiene and caring for the sick. Soon, a mysterious fever spread. Wells became unsafe, crops wilted, and neighbors argued over scarce food and medicine. Remedies only worked when combined with respect for Obaluaye's guidance. The village learned that health is fragile and negligence is costly. Obaluaye's shadow is not anger for anger's sake. It is the result of ignoring life's balance. Healing and protection are gifts that demand care. Ask yourself, are you looking after your health, your family, and your community, or risking harm through neglect? Obaluaye teaches that vigilance and respect for life's rhythms keep suffering at bay. Yemoja, mother of rivers and seas, nurtures families and communities with care, protection, and abundance. Her shadow appears when people ignore her guidance or act selfishly, upsetting the balance she maintains. In a busy riverside village, the smell of wet reeds mixed with the salty river air. Children laughed as they splashed, fishermen called across canoes, and the hum of the oja filled the morning. But some villagers, driven by envy, hoarded food, blocked neighbors from shared catches, and wasted offerings meant for Yemoja. The river responded. Fish became scarce, water levels dropped unexpectedly, and sudden storms battered the banks. Families argued, friendships frayed, and the village felt the effects of imbalance. Yemoja's shadow is not punishment, it is a warning. Neglect care, sow envy, and harmony collapses. Her lesson is simple. Nurture, generosity, and community thrive only when respected. Ask yourself, are you honoring the sources of life around you, your family, community, and environment, or letting envy and neglect break what supports you? Yemoja teaches that even the gentlest mother has limits, and harmony must be protected before it shatters. Oba, the quiet Orisha of sacrifice and devotion, values loyalty, patience, and the unseen work that holds communities together. Her shadow appears when commitment is ignored or done half-heartedly. In a hillside village, the air smelled of fresh soil and smoke from cooking fires. Families worked with care, tending gardens, preparing offerings, and keeping the rhythm of daily life. But some villagers, impatient and distracted, rushed tasks, skipped rituals, and mocked the devotion of their neighbors. They expected blessings without effort. Tension grew. Crops wilted, small accidents disrupted workshops, and disputes over resources escalated. Oba's shadow is subtle but strong. Neglect devotion, and even the strongest communities begin to fray. Her lesson is clear: steady commitment, humility, and attention to the small but important duties keep life and community together. Sacrifice is not suffering. It is the glue that binds people and purpose. Ask yourself, are you nurturing the quiet commitments that sustain your life and community, or letting impatience weaken the bonds that matter most? Oba teaches that loyalty and devotion may be invisible, but they shape everything we hold dear. Eshu, guardian of crossroads and messenger of the Orishas, thrives in surprises and choices. His shadow appears when people ignore guidance, cheat, or act without thinking. One evening, at a crossroads outside a busy Yoruba town, a young trader tried to take a shortcut, hiding some goods for extra profit. He ignored small warnings, the whispers of the wind, the crooked paths, the playful mischief around him. Chaos followed. His baskets tumbled, goats ran off, and neighbors discovered the hidden goods. No curse struck him, but his actions caused confusion and loss. Eshu's shadow is clever but fair. Mischief shows that choices have consequences, and shortcuts can ruin plans. Ask yourself, do you notice the signs and warnings around you, or do you risk letting carelessness and cunning lead to trouble? Eshu reminds us that understanding life's crossroads matters more than trying to control every outcome. Obatala, the wise sculptor of humanity, brings patience, clarity, and fairness. Even his calm nature has a shadow. Acting without thought or respect causes quiet but deep consequences. In a hillside Yoruba town, artisans shaped clay and crafted tools under Obatala's guidance. Some villagers grew impatient, cut corners, cheated, or lied. They skipped offerings and ignored rituals, thinking honesty and care were optional. Soon, cracks appeared in clay walls and sculptures. Disputes grew, and trust among neighbors weakened. Obatala's shadow is quiet but real. Ignoring patience, honesty, and care weakens the foundations of life, relationships, work, and community. Ask yourself, do you act with honesty, patience, and thoughtfulness, or risk letting carelessness unravel what you've built. Obatala reminds us that steady hands and clear minds shape not just objects, but the world around us. Wow, what a story. If you loved it, subscribe first to join the Griot family and never miss a story. Then like this video, drop a comment to tell me what you learned and share it so more people can explore these amazing tales. Don't stop here. Click the videos on screen now to dive deeper into our history, culture, and the stories of our ancestors. Let's explore together, one story at a time.